So I'll be honest, in the last month or so, I've been very focused on building, and especially building with Claude Code, which I definitely love. I'm on the Claude Code max plan, so I'm paying $100, and I still feel very limited. I mean, after a few minutes, Anthropic downgrades me to using Sonnet. Recently, I found out from a friend of mine, he actually gave me a good insight that what you can do, you can change the default models in Claude Code. Let me show you this. So you only use, so you can change it instead of exhausting the Opus tokens first, you can define a different model, which basically I use this plan, which means I'm using Opus for planning mode and then Sonnet for otherwise. While initially I had the default selected, so first Opus for the first 20% of the usage limits, and then switching to Sonnet 4, which Sonnet 4 is actually pretty decent. It's producing good results, but I'm testing this alternative these days. So since I've been encountering this kind of annoying limitations, I'm starting to seek alternatives for different use cases. And I went running with a friend of mine, and he told me about this CLI, this coding assistant that lives in the terminal, which is kind of similar to Claude Code, that he's using, and he's also using it with various different models. So this made me move away from the exploitation mode. And if you have seen my recent video about exploitation versus exploration, so basically we have like two ends of a spectrum. On one hand, we can always explore new things, and on the other hand, we can start exploiting, so doubling down on what is already working. And this is relevant to anything in life, even if you're dating. So you can date many different potential partners until you find someone that you like and you would like to marry with. So you kind of switch from exploring to exploiting. Same goes with business ideas. You can explore many business ideas until you get positive signals, and then you double down and start exploitation. Anyway, so I've been in exploitation mode in terms of building with Claude Code. And now I started re-exploring, and I realized that I've been kind of unupdated. So what I usually do when I want to get updated, first of all, I listen to friends and speak with people. So I stumbled upon this coding assistant, which is called Crush, and so far it's been pretty cool. GitHub Crush. They have 10k stars on GitHub. It's obviously free. Many different interesting features. And the coolest thing about this is that you can connect different models. Let me show you all the models. Sorry, it's Control P. And I really love the UX UI. It's more rich and abundant than Claude Code. And you can choose different models. Obviously, you can search very easily. And what I did, I wanted to see which models should I use from OpenRouter, because I have a user over there. So I connected OpenRouter. And as you can see here, you have all the alternatives. You have DeepSeek, which is free, actually here. And you also have KimK2. Now, since I've been using Anthropic mostly, I wasn't sure which model should I choose. So I went here, and I showed this in other videos of mine, but for those of you who are new or are not aware of this leaderboard, this is a leaderboard provided by OpenRouter that basically shows you a breakdown of what people are using. And this is kind of collective wisdom, I would say, in terms you see what people are using. Here's a breakdown of like the most used models in the last week. So you can see Claude Sonnet 4, then Gemini 2.5 Flash, then Gemini 2.0, DeepSeek, etc. Obviously, this could be for various reasons. So models that are free or cheaper might be more popular, although they are not necessarily better. But this gives you a very good understanding of where the market is at. Over here you can see a market share in terms of model providers, which is also interesting. And this is something very, very interesting which I overlooked until today, and I think it's very valuable. So you can see the categories. Basically, OpenRouter categorizes different prompts, and then you can see which models are used for different use cases. So let's say programming, and you can see that Claude Sonnet is the top, is the most popular. Then you can see Qwen3 Coder and Kimi K2. Now, if we go for example marketing, so we can see Claude Sonnet 4, then Gemini 2.5 Flash, then Gemini 2.0, then DeepSeek. And if we go, for example, to legal, sorry, I wasn't in the correct table. This is the correct table. So Gemini 2.5 Flash, Claude Sonnet 4, Gemini 2.0. If we go to legal, for example, or finance, we can see completely different stuff. So Claude Sonnet here, but over here you can see GPT OSS already, GPT-5 which is being used. If we switch, sorry, it's over here. It constantly scrolls up, and then it confuses me. But yeah, the fact that GPT, the open source operating system, is gaining traction is very interesting, especially in legal stuff and also in finance. I think I saw it. Let me scroll down. Yeah, so over here in finance, you can see the GPT open source system is already in the 6th place. And this led me to also viewing this part of the page, which is top apps. And the top app that is sending tokens to OpenRouter is Code, which I wasn't aware of. And basically, after reading a bit about Code, it is an open source project. It's a fork of Code and Klein. For those of you who don't know, Code is actually a fork of Klein. And what they are trying to do is taking the best of both Code and Klein, and also adding on top of it. So this repo, this project is gaining a lot of traction, and this is something that I'm definitely going to check out. They have a few like comparison tables showing why they believe that they are different from Code and Klein. So basically, the architecture is somewhat different. They have an MCP server marketplace and a few more things. This is a website. So this is something, this is the website, and they are saying that they combine the best. So open source projects continue, which is also an AI coding assistant. Context 7, which is an MCP server that gives you all the most updated documentations of different libraries, and using OpenRouter. So this is something interesting that I'm going to investigate. And the last thing that I wanted to share with you today, which I know this video is kind of all over the show, it's mostly like what has been top of mind for me this day, which is mostly about exploring and seeing and making sure that I'm up to date on all the best tools. Although, again, I'm still going to focus mostly on using Claude Code, but it's always interesting and good to hear what's going on. And this is part of the reasons that I'm uploading this video for those of you who don't have time to explore. So just trying to accelerate your exploring process and sharing my insights with you. And so another thing that I like doing is going to Smittery, which is a very good resource for seeing what are the top performing MCP servers. And over here you can see all the MCPs based on different categories and also based on popularity. So you can see the Desktop Commander is very popular, Superbase obviously, Context 7 which I just mentioned, and Exasearch. PyData as well, Playwright obviously, browser base. So while I was exploring this, I also noticed that a lot of, and there are a few, not a lot, but a few MCPs that enhance sequential thinking. So this is also something interesting that I explored a while ago. I kind of neglected, but now I'm going to start exploring this again. So server sequential thinking is basically an MCP server that implements kind of a tool for reflective problem solving, and you can add like guidelines regarding how you would like it to solve or think about the problem. So as you can see here, you can add different parameters, and basically the sequential thinking tool is designed for breaking down complex problems into steps, planning and designing for room for revision, analysis that might need course correction, problems where the full scope might not be clear initially, tasks that need to maintain context over multiple steps, and situations where relevant information needs to be filtered out. So basically it kind of gives more clarity in the process. So when back in the days when I tested it, it did perform well. Then since I moved to using constantly using Claude Code, I kind of neglected it, but I see that this is still gaining traction, as you can see over here. So might be worth taking another look about this. And I think that's pretty much it for today. So a short video sharing a few things that I stumbled upon while I was kind of off Claude Code today. So first of all, the Crush CLI, which allows you to connect OpenRouter LLMs that are hosted on OpenRouter. Some of them are also free. We discussed the OpenRouter leaderboard, which is very valuable to kind of get insights about the collective wisdom, what people are using, what is getting traction. Then we discussed Code, which is a fork of Klein and Code, which seems interesting, but I haven't really investigated into it. So I will share in the upcoming days if there are any interesting insights. And last but not least, checking out on Smittery what are the trending MCPs. Nothing new in terms of the leaders. Still Desktop Commander, Context 7, Supabase has also been a leader for a while, Playwright as well. But it's always good to kind of check out what's going on to see what people are building. This seems interesting. Drawing tool for AI assistants. Okay, interesting. Yeah, that's it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this short, I'd say, update video. If you have any feedback, or if you have been using any of the tools that I mentioned, maybe Code, or if you have been using models that are especially from the Chinese models, so Qwen Coder or Kimi K2 or DeepSeek, and you have any positive feedback about the results that you're getting from them, please share them in the comment section. That would be very valuable for me and hopefully for other viewers. As always, feel free to join the No Fluff newsletter, which is over here. I see the website is down, but I will check it in a moment. Okay, it's here. So yeah, just leave your email over here, and you'll get every week an update with all the tools that I'm exploring. And if there are interesting insights, obviously I'm going to share it over here as well. That's it. Until next time, keep on automating.